Hello and welcome to Final Project Instructional Design Plan Info 250 by Andrew Somerville. The Craigslist Literacy Course, or CLC, an overview. I'll be going quickly through the instructional design plan. There's more information than this in there, but this will give you a good idea of everything. First off, it's for the Washington County Free Library Adult Services Reference Department. They asked for this tutorial course. The tutorial course that participants could complete on their own, at home, if they so desired. That's the way that the course will operate. All instruction will be online, yet if the student participants are studying in the library, librarians will have the option of checking in on the student patrons' work and helping them if needed. Librarians should not need to present any information. The student should be able to get started with the tutorials as soon as they reach the planned Craigslist training website. The long list of topics to be taught in this document about Craigslist are only for an ideal situation where there has been plenty of time. On that topic, there is a lot in the document that is laid out for tutorials for the patrons to learn. Not all of these topics might be turned into tutorials because, again, there might not be enough time. So, again, this is a very ideal situation. Support of the institutional mission. This CLC learning course supports the Adult Services Reference Department's commitment to technology training and job assistance training programs. It also goes with the program, this tutorial program also goes along with the mission of this program by also fitting in well with the already associated course program that's entitled Buying, Selling and Learning, where the CLC will teach students, patrons, how to buy, sell and learn within the context of the Craigslist website. A likely description of students taking CLC to keep in mind. This is pretty important. Information about the likely patron students that are likely to seek out the training in this CLC course comes from E.J. Dowling, a reference librarian at Washington County Free Library in Maryland. She is the one that's most likely to know her patrons best. Estimations based on the statistics for Washington County, Maryland were also used, along with various scholarly studies and a government reading level and literacy study from the National Center for Education Statistics. The patrons are predicted to be likely older, or generally older, of relatively lower than average education, and have a rather minimal level of computer literacy. This greatly affects the design of the tutorial website. It must be very simple and easy to use for these patrons. Other reasons for using this course for patron students at Washington County Free Library. In other words, why would they pick to use this particular tutorial program? Well, currently there's nothing available specifically teaching about the Craigslist website. And there are so many bad Craigslist tutorials online, it's hard to find something clear, concise, and easy to learn. Often these tutorials online do not have older or more novice computer users in mind. Required prerequisites of Craigslist Library patron students. They have to be able to use a mouse in order to do this course. They also have to be able to use a keyboard. They have to be able to turn on a computer and connect with the internet, use a search engine, etc. There are more of these prerequisites in the instructional design plan. Motivating students with sharing of CLC learning outcomes. The patron students are going to be more likely to get through the course if they're motivated by something, and it could be the opportunities, sharing with them the opportunities about Craigslist that they could have, learning how to that they could buy or sell, that they could get involved and find work on Craigslist. All these opportunities are available to them through Craigslist. Also, a big motivator that I learned that is likely, according to E.J. Dowling of the library for these patrons, is that they are likely to be seeking a certain level of higher self-sufficiency or independence, and Craigslist can offer a lot of these things. This is supposedly going to be a pretty big motivator for the students, so that's exciting. Types of learning outcomes. Setting a pattern for the course. Okay, there are 3 kinds of general learning outcomes that were created for this instructional design plan. First, there are learning outcomes associated with a skill to use a Craigslist opportunity. There are learning outcomes associated with ethics, norms, and etiquette of the Craigslist community related to that opportunity. And there are learning outcomes related to scams that unfortunately are related to that opportunity. The process from learning outcomes to material. Those learning outcomes I just mentioned, there's 3 kinds of learning outcomes, were formed through a continuation into 3 kinds of very similar strategic, or into 3 kinds of similar instructional strategies. And those instructional strategies help suggest, in turn, the tools and materials, mostly software because it's a computer course, for this Craigslist tutorial program. Or I should say, computer-based course. Now, the lower computer literacy level of these student patrons is a pretty important thing to keep in mind, as I said before. Software and usability are of high importance when creating a web-based tutorial course for patron students with low computer literacy. The question that must be kept in mind through all of this is, how can a patron student be successful if the CLC tutorial website and tools are more difficult to use than the Craigslist website that they are attempting to learn in the first place? And with that, I'd like to say thank you very much for listening, and hopefully this will make looking at the instructional design plan a little easier and give you a better idea of what's in it. Thank you. Bye.